Dr. Dale Milner, Portland State University professor of Black Studies, he said this quote the first day of class, that Black history, African American history, is a part of American history. The future of Black history, we cannot separate ourselves away from the rest of America. We cannot isolate ourselves, we cannot ostracize ourselves, and we cannot work in a silo. We must work together with all Americans, not only in the great state of Oregon, but in this United States of America, to accomplish our goals, to accomplish our dreams, and to accomplish our visions. We have many who have come before us: Dr. Martin Luther King, Dorothy Height, A. Philip Randolph. The list goes on of great African Americans who worked for civil rights. They worked for social justice. They worked to help the poor. We must not only continue the legacy, we must now go beyond just continuing the legacy and actually get some results of what we call those desired outcomes. Too many African American males are in jail. Too many African Americans who are wrapped up in the bondage of poverty, and we must continue to work. But again, the future of Black history is not trying to do this alone, not being combative, not trying to fight. It is working in partnership. It doesn't matter the race, it doesn't matter the ethnicity, it doesn't matter the sexual orientation of our individual partners. We must collectively work, because what affects Black Americans affects all Americans.
Commissioner Richard, there's absolutely nothing that I can say that's going to sound anything near as elevated as your wonderful rhetoric. It's humbling to follow you. I'll make sure that never happens again. I do want to welcome you here today to recognize and celebrate the tremendous historic contributions that African Americans have made, not just to Oregon, but to our nation. I was struck by your comments. My political awakening occurred in the spring of 1968 with the assassination of Martin Luther King and then Robert Kennedy. And if you think back, his entire campaign was a campaign about poverty, a campaign about disparities, a campaign about giving a voice to the voiceless and bringing America together. And you know, the African American story is inseparable from the American story. As Dr. King wrote from the jail in Birmingham, what affects an individual directly affects us all indirectly. And we're all woven together into this fabric of destiny. And it's absolutely true. And the African American story is not a story that can be captured in 1 month or fully celebrated in one proclamation. But it is very, very important. And many of the initiatives we're working on this session are actually targeted at poverty. The entire children's effort is trying to address the fact that if we are going to raise our per capita income back up above the national average, if in fact we're going to ensure that all of our children have a pathway to prosperity and upward mobility, we have to intentionally and specifically address students of color. We have to address those who are poor. We have to address those who live in a family where English is not spoken at home. Our heroes, at least in Oregon, just to name but a few, are Verdell Rutherford, and Bill and Gladys McCoy, who I had the pleasure of serving with back when I was in the Senate, Avil Gorderly, Margaret Carter, many of you here in this room, and of course Senator Winters and Lou Frederick. So I'm delighted to be here today. I hope that we can use this as a fulcrum to continue this dialogue and to make sure that we all move forward together here, at least in the great state of Oregon.